podcast is rated TV PG for fantasy violence and language. Welcome back to Star Wars Birth of the Republic tabletop role-playing game. Episode 14. I'm Kirk, and I will be your storyteller.
I am Andrew. I play Hakru, the Zabrak Scout.
I'm Eric. I'm playing Lashara, the Bothan Noble.
I'm Greg. I'm playing Dodd, the Human Scoundrel.
Yeah, I'm Seth, playing Jad Markeda, the Rhodian Scoundrel.
This is Mary, and I will be playing Rura, the Tagorian Scout.
So last time, you guys did get paid your $20,000 for delivering the tour. I guess that was the time before. What else happened before you guys took off? I think you got you talked to him about upgrading the ship. And about upgrading his security.
Yep.
And I don't think there was too much else after that.
I also discovered some names like Odant.
Yes.
And
You've actually.
I thought I ferreted out one of the Tatari bases of operation, or at least circled in on one, because I've got it either says bosses or bases. I'm not sure.
You guys did find out that the Tatari are involved in another nearby system where they are sort of supplying guns and weapons to both sides. So that was the one thing you really pulled out of the interwebs.
Gotcha.
From last time. And that helps you guys focus down if you wanted to sort of go after the next money pit that they're involved in and knock it out. And about the time you guys decided to leave, got in the ship, started to head out, and were ambushed by 3 fighters, strike fighters, and a light freighter. You guys got hit pretty bad, like opening salvo, and we're getting down to the nitty-gritty when another ship arrived and helped out. Unfortunately, the help soon fell into more of a dark blessing, because it turned out that it was what's her name? I didn't put it in there. Sula, who had tortured Hakru for quite a long time. And she basically alluded to having found him, and that she was going to take him back, like she had found a lost pet or something like that. So about that time, she was chasing down the last of the freighters. Dodd made some quick calculations, and you guys jumped to a random spot and sort of took some time out to fix up the ship, mostly, I believe. I think you guys are real close. And had a talk with Hakru about who she was, because it had never been divulged who she was or that she was even after him, that sort of thing. And through this, Jenna sort of appeared and offered to help him be able to sort of mask or hide his presence in the Force. And that came down to a big team decision that if things got really bad, that he would be left to go and sort of draw her fire, because it's believed that she would cut through anything in the path. So, but the team also decided to help out as much as they can and fight together. So, I think you guys decided at this point to head back to Daghee and do the final run, or the second run. And that's where we sort of left off, I believe.
Well, there was that thing about training Hakuru.
Correct.
And I have a couple more notes. I sent a message to Faroon.
Yes.
Why did I do that? This is what happens when I actually take notes, is I go back and go, well, why did I do that?
And I think that was one of those on-the-fly decisions I made, because I didn't write it down either.
Okay. I think because he's on Coruscant, that we were looking into what the other things were that were happening on Coruscant.
I want to say he had. I want to say he had something to do with the Tahari,
Okay.
and that's where that was sort of headed as another insight into what they were doing. I thought.
Okay. Yeah, probably.
That maybe he had run into them and was a source of information.
What
And then
or
there's
who
the-
was Brinell? Brinl.
Are we recording right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brennel. That's something else I didn't write down. There was the planet Rompau, and those are the ones that are fighting each other. I don't think I don't have anything on that one.
I may have randomly written it down.
Was this
Who
the
knows?
person that runs the industrial complex that everyone's supposed to be getting tore through? Maybe?
Could have been. I have no context. I just have that name written down and a square drawn around it.
What was it again? How do you spell it?
Brinl.
Huh. That is not familiar at all. But that doesn't mean anything. I'll have to go back and look at some of the past stuff. Any other things, notes, or something that people have written down that we need to...
Okay, so the two factions on that planet were the Kyla and the Voss.
Kyla and the Val, VAL.
Oh, VAL. And that's it for what I've got. Notes.
Yeah, there wasn't too much on it. And I believe that's all I have written down about that for now. All right. So you guys, I think the last time we were going to jump back to Daghee, instead of a day, it was like a day and a half because you sort of jumped a half day out of the way. So we'll go ahead and you guys are in hyperspace when we open up, and everyone's kind of tooling about doing their thing. In the cargo hold, Jenna is there teaching both of you the basics about use of the Force. And while Losh is doing lightsaber forms off on one side with a small remote that came out of the holocron, it's about the size of a golf ball, she is also teaching Hakuru how to sort of cover his imprint in the Force so that he's not able to be sensed. And we're going to cut to the other bay, the garage, and we have Rura is sort of going through crates that were marked the Sholu and oh shoot, what's the other one? I got it here somewhere. The Moskoth. And she's just pulling things out, looking at them, putting them back. And she finds a little like tackle box, opens it up, and it's empty, but the weight is off just slightly. And she kind of looks over the lid a little bit more and realizes that there is a slide. The lid doesn't go all the way to the top of the lid, so she pops it and opens it up, and there's a small chip inside. And then we're going to cut to the scene slides, and she's pinning a letter to her aunt about what happened to her lover. And she's trying to think about how she puts it, and so you're seeing her write different things like, I'm sorry I haven't written to you before this, and then she scratches it, and she's using pen and paper, which is very odd for this setting instead of doing a holocron or a holovid. And so she's going back and forth and trying to pin this, and it's not working, and she keeps looking at the chip and setting it down and like writing, I want to bring you something of his, and it's, there's other notes of like a chip with a question mark and things like that, where she's scratching things out and going back and forth. And so I'll open it up to you guys, or what do you want to do? It's just a little tiny like USB drive chip almost.
I think after this letter is clearly going nowhere, and she's been working on it for a long time. Like it's not. She's been writing this in her head before she tried writing it down, and it's just she's getting frustrated because she can't. It's apparently not any easier writing than it would have been to record a video, which she was hoping for. At a certain point, she throws the pen down and picks up the chip, and she's like, with the question of, is this even worth it? Like, she's probably going to go find a way to see what's on it.
Okay. What's your use computer?
Untrained.
You're untrained? Okay.
3.
Yeah, you're not sure. You're kind of walking around looking at the mechanics of the communications board, and you're like, And about that time, Leto kind of floats by and stops and slowly turns and watches you, and you like start to put in the air, and young lady, you need some help with that? That looks like a memory chip or a code chip.
Okay. Can you tell me what's on it?
A little door flips down on his chest, and it's got a perfect match to that chip.
Okay.
There's a buzzing going on all of a sudden.
Sorry, the dryer's...
Perfect sound effect. You put it in, and he starts whirring, and his holo emitter comes on, and the star map shows up, and it's got a little coordinates, and you look around, and what's nearby? It has it looks like a star system, Batghee, and some others, and there's kind of a space in this 4-quadrant where all these space routes are, and there's a little blip, and it keeps like pulsing slowly. It's kind of a little bit near a system called Falline, near another system called Monastery, and another one. It's in between Larator. So, and he plugs it up on a regular map, and it fits in just nicely, and it shows where you guys are at, and you're just a couple days away.
I look at that, I'm like, is that all that's on there? Just those, coordinates?
He says that's all that's on there. And it looks like it's about 3 days away from Daghee. 2 days away.
Okay. Can you remember those coordinates?
Certainly. I'll put it in the vault. And the chip slowly comes out.
Thanks.
Take it, and the little door closes up.
I'm going to go try to finish writing a letter.
Okay. And he floats off and does his thing. Cut to the cargo bay, and Jenna is sitting and meditating with a crew across from her, and she's just going into the basics of draw your energy into yourself, and imagine a wall going up around you, like a sphere. And every once in a while she's doing this, she stops and turns and gives some pointers to Lashara, who's fighting the thing. She says, form up, or form A, form B, and she has you sort of go through the stances. And then she says, try it again, and it goes through this whole thing again. The lightsaber training is pretty smooth. It feels very natural. Like it's just a part of you. Like you now know how to know how to ride a bike, which you've seen other people do in a way, and it's easier than it looks once you start getting the feel for it.
Yeah, and she's trained in sword combat, so like it's some of it at the basic levels is just minor adjustments, so it feels natural to her.
Yeah, you have deflect bolts and things like that. Deflect a shot.
I don't. Let me look. I think I do. Yes, I have deflect.
Deflect. Okay. So it gets to a certain point, and she says, okay, stand back 20 meters, and this thing starts firing little stun shots at you, quite out of the blue. And so we're going to have you do deflect. So this is a use the force check. And let's see, the first one is a 7.
I rolled a 3.
That's with you use the force?
No, 14 with use the force.
So you deflect it just barely, like it comes straight at your face, and you hold it up.
She's like startled. She's like, holy cow, what was that?
Right. And this keeps going at a very regular, like metronome sort of pace, where it's firing. And so you keep making these checks. That would be a 19.
24.
You deflected at just enough time. A 15. I think you'd have to.
Natural 20.
No, yeah.
I hope that's not the only one that burns.
So you do the thing where you take time and you set, and it hits it. So you're seeing it come way ahead of time. And this keeps happening over and over. Eventually, one gets through and stings you on the shoulder, but it's not like debilitating. But it's enough that gets your focus back in, and you start doing this again with this little tiny remote. And it's just staying stationary, just firing at you, like a baseball practice.
Okay.
And so this continues for a couple more hours. You guys take a break. Everyone meets up in the kitchen for lunch. And the knock comes out, and he says, we still have 20 hours to go before we get to Daghee. And he starts eating some food. Anything anyone wants to do?
I'd imagine that this would be like part of Haku's agreement where he spent the morning training. Yeah. So after lunch, that's when he'd get to do, his shift of piloting, and then finally after that would be what he wants to do. So what Haku wants is going to be after dinner.
Okay. All right. Anyone else got anything? I think the ship just needed a little bit more repairs too. I think you guys were just down like 20 points.
I think it was still down a couple of hit points. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what Ruru's going to do after lunch. She's not going to bring anything up yet.
Okay. Yeah, the writing has gotten her kind of frustrated at this point.
Lash is fairly exhausted. This physical training she hasn't done in quite a while.
Right.
She's a little out of shape. So she's going to eat like crazy, and then she's going to actually rest. No meditation or nothing like that. She's actually just going to go and just slump on one of the couches or wherever she can relax and a common area.
Okay. Yep.
Jad's gonna go to the whatever part of the ship the new gun is gonna be going into,
Okay.
and start clearing out space, making sure that they've got plenty of room to work and can get it done really quickly.
Okay.
I really anticipated you just saying, staring at it lovingly.
What is your mechanic skill?
Oh, nothing.
It's your turn to look at a computer with confusion.
5.
5. Go ahead and roll.
Oh, 23.
That's pretty good. You get the panel off the wall and you start climbing back through the insides, and there's some stuff you need to pull up or get out of the way. It looks like at one time this was like a junk storage, and you also find an old nest that something was living in here at one time. You're able to clear that out. But it takes a while because it's like a tight squeeze through back, and then it kind of opens up, so it's hard to get the stuff out.
Sorry, I took my blaster helmet off and my vest.
All right. So that takes up the rest of the day, and we're now into the evening where people are sort of breaking up, and the holocron's doing its own thing by itself. It's pulsing more. The light inside has gotten a lot brighter, so now it's a nice soft blue glow.
That concept I find personally very disturbing.
It looks like it did when you guys found it, basically.
Yeah.
So, Dodd, there is an incoming message for you in the evening.
I'll reach over and click on it.
A little image of the lady Arala Shul comes on, and she says, "It's so good to see you again. Dodd, I'm glad you guys are okay."
Yeah, we seem to be holding together just fine. What do I owe the pleasure of your call?
I found out yesterday that there is a bounty out on your ship
Oh,
for 25K. So you guys might want to be careful. I didn't know. Have you guys run into any problems or anything?
maybe a few. I think we're manageable currently, but if you wouldn't mind, stay by the phone because there may be some additional information I could get from you in the near future.
Okay.
What have you heard?
Just that there's 25K on you. The Tatari are, since you guys sort of ran them out of Daghee, it seems like they're consolidating on a planet called Rampau, where they're doing some sort of business dealing with weapons. They seem to be funneling a lot of money into this endeavor, and they're making a lot out of it.
Yeah, I've actually ran across that information as well. Thank you for verifying.
So they're
That's valuable.
So they're not being too subtle about it, apparently.
No, I would suppose not. Did they? Does the warrant say dead or alive?
It does say dead or alive, preferably dead.
Nice. Okay.
So if you're
Well,
not
it's always good to have friends.
if you're not doing your scrambler thing, you might want to turn that on and spoof yourself.
Yeah. We've been doing that the whole time, and I click on the scrambler, make sure it's on.
You go over and click on it, and it turns it on. So you guys had turned it off, I think, a while back,
Yeah.
and so now you turned it back on, and you're not registering as the Ripper anymore. You're registering as the
Right.
the picnic basket or whatever you want to call it.
We are the Screaming Firehawk.
There you go.
Right. So, all right. Well, thanks for your concern. What do I owe you?
Just listen to this and give me some good feedback on it, or give me some honest feedback on it. And she pushes a couple buttons, and there's something starts downloading.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll do my best. I'll share it with the crew.
Okay. All right. Good hunting. And she shimmers out.
Yeah. I tried to convey a certain element of confusion and also sincerity when I was talking to her, by the way, just in case that didn't come through. All right. I walk back into the to the lounge where everybody is kind of circling for dinner, I guess,
Yes.
at this point.
Yep.
Well, hey, got some news, guys. Good news. We're more valuable than we thought.
What do you mean?
What are we raising our rates to?
Well, the Tatari have raised our rates to 25,000 dead or alive. I've turned on the scrambler, so hopefully that'll help mask us wherever we go. But this is getting to be some pretty serious business with these guys. I think we need to start actively acting against their best interests. What do you guys say?
Mushara stands up and she says, I'm behind you.
I mean, I'd rather go find them than have us have them find us at. Yeah, no, I'm in.
Yeah.
We're on board.
Haku's like mid-bite or something is like, I already thought that was the plan. We were going to go there as a way of luring Sula there because apparently you think that's a good idea.
Well, I'd like our enemies to maybe take some of themselves out. Wouldn't that be nice? Ooh, how can we plant the idea that your former employer is somehow an incredible ally of ours? Just thinking off the top of the
Just
cuff.
like looking like, who is that comment directed towards?
I don't know. Just next time we're in port, somewhere in civilization, try to keep a low profile. That's all I'm saying. So, all right. How much time do we have to Daghee?
Another 10 hours.
Another 10 hours?
If you guys are from dinner. So if you
Okay.
guys sleep or do rotations, it should be, a little quicker.
I'm gonna get some shut eyes so that I can help to load the ship when we get back to Daghee.
Okay.
Plan ahead what you're gonna do in Daghee because I think we're gonna try to make our stay short. All right.
Sounds
And
good.
then I turn around and walk back into my cabin, look for a book. The more boring, the better. Something put me to sleep.
Okay.
Moby Dick.
So we're after dinner. Is there crew? Did you want to do something?
Yeah. At this point in time, he is going to start. I know you said I have to get like with someone who knows life sciences to help make the coat.
Yes.
But at this point in time, a crew is going to start like his internet search for like patterns of what coats look like because he needs to start off somewhere.
That would be a basic use computer first, just to sort of get into a database.
Do we have remote access from while we're in hyperdrive, hyperspace? I'd assumed we didn't.
Since these hyperspace routes are a little janky, I don't know if they've never done it in the movies where they have to stop and like reposition and then take off again. So it could be, it's going to be a little bit of a gray area because you wouldn't have been able to talk to Arula really without having dropped out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there are points in a hyperspace lane where you have to stop, make a
would think
correction,
so.
and go
Yeah,
to
they show it in Solo.
Oh, do they? Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
there's little bits, brief moments where you come out and sort of the ship readjusts. So that could be a burst transmission that sort of comes through at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, you're looking at the cached internet.
Yeah.
instead of-
Right. And like, it's like basically he's looking for like a duster, like that kind of pattern.
Yeah. So a basic use computer skill. Check. DC 10. Nothing crazy.
Oh yeah, I made it. I rolled an 8, and I know I've got at least a +3 in my int, and then I know I'm trained to use computer. So
What about gather information? Do you have any of that?
probably not, because that sounds like something that's social, and he is not social. Gather information? No, I don't have anything. Gather information.
I don't think you have to be trained in it though. So just give me a basic roll in that too. See where we
all right.
wind up.
Yeah, the only things that you actually need to be trained in is
Pilot mechanics. Well, there's a few. There's more than a few.
Yeah. Pilot mechanics use the force and the knowledge skills. Have like the trained and untrained. Everything else, it's just
Right.
Certain uses have to be trained, but
Right.
otherwise.
yeah.
So are you doing this in a public space, Hakaru?
Probably
Yeah.
would be the lookup portions because
Yeah.
he wouldn't be doing. I mean,
So
Haku's not
Lashara-
very secretive, so it's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
he just tries to stay out of people's
Yeah.
way.
Well, I'm just trying to think of the likelihood that Lashara, wanders up on you as she just moving around the ship and asks, "Hey, what are you looking for, Hakaru?"
Okay. Two things to get out of the way, real quick. So the total used computer
Yeah.
was a 19,
Oh yeah.
and the total gather information was a 7.
That's not bad. You get plenty of styles that start coming in. I don't know if it's anything that you would like. That's the subjective part of what you're finding.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of
Mostly-
basic ones.
Yeah, most of it. So I see a style. Right. Ultimately, he's going to settle on like a Western duster style, and he's going to start using that to like take that and add the word like pattern to it.
Okay.
That basic Google search.
Okay.
And yeah, when Lashara walks by and asks, he just goes like, "I am looking for a pattern for a coat."
Well, what do you got so far?
Gestures to the screen because like it's like he's like, yeah, take a look. Then you just see it's like it's a full trench coat with duster shoulder pieces, and it's like trying to find a pattern for this one.
Yeah, okay. I think I know what you're looking for. Can I help?
Please.
Okay, so she's actually really good at
Gathering.
finding information.
Okay. Basic computer use.
Yep. Just rolled a 15.
Yeah.
Use computer is a 9, so she rolled a 24 for that.
Okay.
And gather information, 27.
Pulls down all different kinds. He was just sort of looking at a general thing, but you've opened it up to different cultures and different species, and it just starts flooding in. All these patterns start coming up, and there are several that Hakaru gets excited about.
So she says,
Like, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's that's part of it. I like that there, and I like this there, and sort of thing.
Anything that is on like large hairy animal species, it's like yes, this one.
Yeah.
This one will be good,
Yeah.
but I liked the back on this one more. So
Right.
front, back. Ooh, this one has pockets.
Right.
So does she just-
some of them have like a fur collar and all kinds of crazy stuff. It just he's
she,
oogling now. Ooh, look at that one. Oh, look at that
so
one.
she kind of stands up and says, she bows like she's got this new, there's no ego about it or anything. She's just glad to have helped, and she says, "Take your pick." And she kind of bows nicely and walks back towards her quarters.
Yep.
Thank you very much for your assistance. Before I take my pick, do you have a favorite? He holds up like 6 images that, as far as he knows, like he holds up like 6 different images, and just like which one do you like the most?
So I'm sure she found something that reminds her of like Jedi robes, and she points. She's like, that brown one looks really neat, and it's kind of got like a folded tunic look in the front, and it kind of drapes over the legs, kind of like your trench coat style, but it still kind of looks like that folded tunic top.
Yeah.
He starts like rubbing his chin, like, I see. Thank you for your input.
Okay.
After dinner, Rura's gonna be working on trying to fix that last bit of damage to the ship.
Okay. Like I said, I think it was like 22 points it was down.
Well,
So
in an hour she fixes 6.
Okay. Dodd, you were happening by the computer console, and Hakaru's kind of like finishing up, taking his stuff, and there is like a little in message for you.
Oh,
Go over and click it open and roll a D100 percentile.
yeah. Just roll 2 d10s. The first one will be the tens column.
Okay.
29.
You have made 1,102 credits from your hyperspace map out into the unknown regions.
Okay. Let's I tell Jad and because he's the team accountant, his very special OnlyFans that we can go to. And I let him know to add that to the group pile. We all worked for that.
1,102 credits.
So far.
Yep. Over a couple days. It's not too bad.
Heck no.
I like free money.
Yep. I like royalties. Royalties are nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Rura kind of like she basically is trying to work off frustration, but which would have worked better if she had failed at working off whatever she was doing, but it succeeded. So it kind of like put her into a more calm space of mind because it worked. And she like crawls out from wherever she is and starts wiping off her hands, and she heads back over to the computer consoles.
All right. Rura has just climbed out from underneath a console where she's been piecing things back together on the ship. Wipes her hands off. Her paws. Her giant paws.
Really good for putting things back together.
Yep.
Grip strength, useful. No, she kind of like is Hakaru still there? And
I imagine he's just moved over to like the kitchen table or whatever and is curiously drawing or adding things together and cutting, pasting on a pad.
Yeah, well, it's like it's out of the way, but I'm not hiding.
Right.
Like,
well, in that case, she'll see you and come like sit and watch for a second. Head tilt going. Oh, are you trying to make a coat?
Yes, I wish to make a coat.
Oh, what?
I have all of that. The thing that ate me.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yes, I'm going to make it into a large, lovely coat.
Oh, well, if you need any help, let me know. I can probably figure some of it out. And actually,
I need to figure out how to turn. And he holds up like a scrap piece of it. This, and then he holds up like the leather part, like some like leather pouch, into something more like this.
Oh, that's a simple enough process. We may have to pick up some things on Daghee to do it right, but I think I'm pretty sure I know how to tan leather.
It is already brown though.
She does laugh, but it's not in a mean way. She's like, no, that's just what it means to turn it from that into that. It's a process called tanning.
Okay.
I don't know why. I usually does change the color though. And I'm actually, would you mind helping me with something?
Sure. What's up?
I need to learn how to use the computer.
Oh, this is simple. A crew will show you. So he like flips over and like literally has like his little intro computer course because he was working on this not too long ago, and he goes right back there. He goes, so I used this program, and it starts teaching you the basics. Apparently, the binary is not just how they talk, but is actually how they are configured.
Yes. In theory, I did know that. I just don't know how it translates. But this... Oh, good. I mean, I'm happy to learn.
Yeah,
Seems to be working for you. So.
if this was like he's probably like got like if this was a college textbook, it would be the one with all the highlighter marks, like notes in the margin, like you see his insanity in his learning process all over there. But as someone who has like sat in on the mechanics lessons that he's given you before, you're like, yeah, this makes sense.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I was planning on learning how to use the computer anyway, and that like whenever I get the opportunity. So we're starting that now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I realized today I haven't really needed it, but Leto had to help me with something today, and I kind of.
Oh, Leto was very good. He helped me learn.
Yeah.
Any follow up questions to what Lita was helping you with or anything? Nope. Haku's
No.
like, meh.
Yeah, and
It's
I
not
don't
so
think
much
she-
that Hakru doesn't care. It's that Hakru respects other people's privacy.
And that's fair. And I don't think it's something that she would just drop either
Right.
at this point. She hasn't. So, but laying groundwork.
Yep.
Yeah, Hakru, you get 2 speeds: full trauma, absolute golden retriever. There is no in between.
If you wanted, you could probably start the tanning process of like creating a frame where it's got to be hooked up and stretched and all that stuff before the chemicals that you would actually need. So there's a little bit you can do in the meantime if you wanted to spend the rest of the evening sort of setting that up. You have more than
and I
enough
do
spare
have the life
parts.
sciences, so I figured
Yeah.
I can. Yep, I would
Okay.
kind of know how to do this.
All right. So at this point, Hakru and Rura go off to the cargo bay, and they start working on a framework to put together to start tanning the hide. The hide's so large that you could. I thought we said we could get like 2 or 3 trench coats out of this if you really wanted. So you're going to cut it down, set up multiple frames probably, and just start working on it. Because as I started to say, it's like cowhide, like even processed cowhide, like it doesn't fold up, like it kind of rolls, and it's just super tough. So, yeah.
As they're setting that up, I'm gonna walk out of the cargo bay, and as I'm leaving, just tell them, hey, when you're cutting those down, make sure to cut mine at 3642. And then I'm gonna go find. And then I'll go
Hakru
find
actually
Lichara.
makes a note in the data pad.
There you go. Because I don't think Hakru has told everybody who the coat's for. I know you said it's
I
for
haven't told
Nanat.
anybody because no one has asked.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
But I mean, he's making these coats, and there's enough for, I'm going to say three nice sized coats. Because that creature was huge. You also still have the pin set up in the cargo bay too, so
Oh yeah.
that's all still welded together if you needed it for something later on. All right, so next morning, everyone's taking their turn. It seems like Leto is taking a lot of the piloting because there's not much to do while you guys are in hyperspace and dropping out and making readjustments and shooting off again. So lightsaber training takes on again in the morning, and breakfast is finishing up, and Jenna comes out, appears, I should say, and says, "Are we ready to resume our training, Hakru?" And Lichara, I think we're going to step up the lightsaber deflecting to a more randomized setting, so the difficulty
Okay.
will increase. And
Okay.
this is said in front of everybody, so.
Oh,
So
I
you
can
guys-
help with that.
Sorry, trying to speed read. Yeah. Hakru, when she says, "Are we ready to resume?" He's like, "Yes."
Okay.
Wake up, breakfast, force, lunch, work.
Yep. So she takes you guys off, and today is not so much about hiding yourself from the Force as using the Force to pick up small items for Hakru. And she says this could be useful if your weapon is dropped, if there is something you need to get a hold of that is at a distance. Sometimes you can even disarm your enemies if their weapons are holstered and not locked down, that sort of thing.
Oh, Hakuru knows this. Oh, wait, he actually would know her name and wouldn't just say the old lady.
Lena.
Yeah.
Jenna.
Gina
No.
has.
Lena was the old lady.
Yes.
Okay. Is Lena has showed Hakuru this one, and he like. If we're in the cargo bay, like a wrench.
Yep.
Like he just like focuses out on it, reaches out. Gets a 24 to just bring it over to himself. He's
Okay.
like, I have done this one.
Her eye cocks, and she says, "You've been training. You did not tell me this."
It is not training so much as the inverse happened involuntarily. And with that one, he pushes the wrench back to where it was from.
Okay. She says, "Then we will step ahead, and you will learn to balance objects on each other using the Force." And so she points to several things in the cargo bay, which are medium-sized objects, and she says, 1, 2, and 3. Stack them, 1, 2, and 3. And so you're starting this process of picking up the items slowly. And sometimes she says, move this one delicately as if it's got some sort of volatile liquid in it, and this one quickly, that sort of thing. So she's running it through these paces. While you're doing this first thing, she turns to Lash and she says, now the remote will start to randomize its shots at you.
She says, "Okay, master," and she like opens her eyes wide, like, "Oh no!"
And the little golf ball heads up in the air, and it stays stationary again. But instead of the metronome sort of firing, it starts firing, fire, that sort of thing. So,
Okay.
and I think with deflect, if there's 2 shots in one turn, I think the second one is a -5 on your roll, I believe.
Something like that. Yeah, I think I read that.
So-
I can look it up.
If you just want to do some random rolls,
Okay.
Jad, are you around?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're looking at this little remote, and you're like, remotes are one thing. Using this against the living, totally. Different.
I'm itching just to shoot it out of the air.
You don't know. You've never seen this thing on the ship before, so you don't know whose it is or how expensive it is. But it's very
But
sleek.
the urge is still there.
Yeah, it's very sleek. It's like a little golf ball with a little blaster port almost on it. But it's not. As you're watching it, it's not doing anything more than like a mild stun. But it's still moving at the speed of a blaster.
Okay. Can I just walk up to it and be like, "Are you trying to get this thing?" and shoot it?
Okay.
Like pretending like I don't know really what it is,
Okay.
or do I already know what it is?
You know what it is. It's a remote.
All right.
You've seen them. They're used. They're
all right.
used
No,
in
never mind.
training.
I'm not going to do that. Okay.
But
Back in,
you're
okay.
used to the big remotes that have multiple like ports on them, and they spin and do all kinds of crazy stuff. This just looks
Yeah.
like a little training, like something you would do for a first year cadet on a battlefield, where you're not trying to like overwhelm them.
Yeah. Okay.
It's more of a finesse thing.
Then I'm not going to shoot it.
Okay. But you see Lashara, and she's deflecting these, and they're coming in, and she's looks like she's doing pretty good. Yeah, the thing's not super accurate, so it's missing every once in a while, like hitting the ceiling, that sort of thing.
Just come in and tell her, not too bad, Lashara.
She's like, "Oh, thank you," and she's like, moving and swinging her saber and into the different proper locations.
You want to step it up a notch? This thing's pretty.
She
Made for
looks
kids.
at you and as as doggies do, she cocks her head. She goes, what do you mean? And another shot comes ringing at her, and it actually she rolled a crap roll, and
Yeah.
I guess it would hit her.
It rolled a 21.
Yeah, she rolled a 13.
Yeah. It zaps her in the stomach, and she's like, oh.
Oh yeah, we could go back to the other cargo
you need
bay,
to
and I
focus.
can take some shots at you.
And Jenna,
I'll,
Jenna
if
puts
you
her
miss,
hands
I'll
up.
hit you in the wing.
Jenna puts her hand up, and the remote floats over to her, and she holds it in her hand. She says, this would be very good for your exercise to practice against the living individual.
So
You
she
don't-
looks at Jad, and she's trying to read the look on his face. What look is on Jad's face when he has permission to do this?
It's Jad with his eyes full of stars, and the camera gets in closer, and they're just staring, and it gets in closer and just staring, and you have no idea what he's thinking. You're like poker face, like
The 37th one.
it looks
from
like he's
left center.
Yeah,
Sparkles.
it looks like he's excited or pissed. I can't tell.
So she's like, "Okay, master. All right, Jad, be easy on me. I'm a beginner." And she decides to go with him.
Now you just got to promise me. You know how not to hit him back at me, right?
Yes.
I don't think
Okay,
you do.
good. That's all I needed.
That's a redirect shot. That's a different force power.
All right. So
So you guys go off to the garage cargo hold.
all right, Lashar, I'm gonna pull out my trusty old slug thrower here.
Oh,
Wait, slug thrower.
Yeah. And then once we get past that, we'll move on to the bowcaster.
What? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Jad.
Yeah.
She holds up her saber and turns it on. She says, "You're gonna shoot a hunk of metal at me?"
Well, yeah, you're gonna hit it with that light sword thing, aren't you?
I guess I could try, but do you have anything smaller?
No.
That's right. You just sold them all.
think-
I'm
I was
not
gonna say the
sure.
best part about it is no, he doesn't. That is
No.
his smallest gun.
yeah.
He's actually trying to start you off on the smallest gun.
Well, I'll make you a deal. Let's start with you shooting at a different target, and I'll try to intercept it. Please don't shoot that at me.
All right. You're being a little chicken, but let's do it. So I'll set up an empty crate at one end, and so I have something to aim at.
Lashard, does that frustrate you at all when he calls you chicken? And this whole thing is like turned from like an innocent like practice to like I'm gonna get shot in the ass.
No, she's not frustrated. She's terrified.
Okay. Oh, even
She's
better.
terrified.
Even
Yeah.
better. Ooh.
Well, I guess my question here is, do we actually... Okay, we all players know, yes. But do we as characters know what would happen if a lightsaber tried to deflect a bullet?
I mean, lightsabers can cut through doors
Yeah.
and stuff. It would take it out.
I feel like it would just melt it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But she doesn't know, so setting up a target and having her try to take it out of the air and see how it works would be more appropriate. And then gets her
Yeah.
confidence up and then says, okay, now shoot at me and let's try this, that sort of thing.
Okay, yeah. That's kind of where she was going.
All right. So, Jad, got it all set up and take your shot. Roll your to
right.
hit.
Let's do that. Move my notes off my dice.
And I assume you set up like a couple cans.
Yeah, I just
Empty
set up an
food cans.
Crate. Empty crate, something to be able to aim at.
Okay.
I rolled I can't do math. 9 plus 8, 17.
All right. 28.
She and it hits it and sparks and it's gone. Evaporates.
Hey, nice first try.
She kind of like does this little wiggle, like, yeah, I did it.
So it's up to you. You want to shoot at the target again?
Oh yeah. One more to the target. All right, we're gonna just get a little bit closer, though. It's gonna, like a high inside fastball right here.
Okay.
Gonna play a little chin music, and I rolled a 18.
26.
There you go. Does it again. She hits it from the back.
All right. This one, it's gonna be a little closer. Might hit you in the arm. Might
Oh
not.
God. Oh God.
So he goes from shooting at the target. He slowly points it at you.
Jeez. 27.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Oops.
25.
Oh. Let's see. What is the specific
Force point?
yeah, if she wants to get it.
No, I want to see how this rolls out.
You're spending force points to use this talent, basically, but we're not going to hold that against your total. But
Okay.
I kind of feel like in his mind, Jed feels like it's competition, and so that's why he keeps shooting closer.
Yep, it just goes through, I believe. So roll your damage.
Oh man.
Jesus.
Only I rolled a 1 on the first one, so that's lucky. 7 damage.
7?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll take that. Mark that out. Now, were we at max
Yes.
after our battle?
Yeah.
Because I know that we had taken some damage in our
Yeah,
battle.
it's been enough time that everybody should
Okay.
be healed up.
Okay. So you're gonna like wing her in the arm,
Yeah.
and there's actually like, the bullet actually hits her, and she like snaps her head up at him, and her hand goes up, and her lightsaber like kind of falls to the floor and turns off, and she's like, "I thought we were friends."
I thought you were gonna hit it.
I'm gonna go to the med bay, Jad. That was a little much there, buddy.
Anyone else having like
Sorry.
BB gun as a kid incident flashbacks right now?
Oh hell yeah!
The BB gun PTSD that everyone feels.
Could be worse. I literally know a guy who lost an eye.
Ooh.
so-
Oh jeez.
I think everybody knows.
Yeah.
Shoot your eye out, kid.
So I assume Dodd is sitting out in the kitchen area getting a cup of tea or something, and Lashar comes running by extra dramatically, like holding her arm, and runs into the med bay. Closes.
Lashar, did you take your lightsaber with you, or did you leave it on
No,
the floor?
no, it's on the floor.
Okay, so I'll pick that up
Okay.
as I leave.
Okay.
Just Rora spends a couple hours fixing the rest of the damage to the ship.
Okay.
Like in 5 hours, I think she can, or
Oh yeah,
4, she can get it done. So
definitely.
she rolled some rolls that took that long.
Nice.
She rolled pretty low on a couple of them. Apparently, she's still frustrated.
Huh. Well, or the damage is in a certain area. That's all that can
Right,
be fixed.
it's hard to get
Sort of
to.
thing. Yeah. So
Do you say anything?
Jad, did you
I
come
will,
out? Jad comes out with her lightsaber.
So I'm just gonna follow with the lightsaber, walk slow, and go into the med bay.
You still have your pistol out?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Pistol,
Just
pistol,
walk
and her lightsaber, like walking toward the med bay. Door opens.
I
He goes in, and
believe-
door
Wait,
closes.
Yeah, Jad, you're not trying to kill her, are you?
And you hear
No.
from the back. You hear from around the corner. Jad just shot me.
She wanted me to shoot at her.
Wait, what?
He was supposed to shoot at the target. I am not the target.
Well, I mean, you're supposed to hit it with that light sorty thing, like you did the first 2 times.
This wasn't the deal, Jad. I'm bleeding.
You'll be okay.
Dodd, do you follow them into the med bay?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
She's
walk
sitting
in.
there with her shirt down, and she's got like a little hole. It's bleeding a little bit. It's not terrible.
I do not have medical skill. Who has medical skill? I summon Hakru.
I'll put the
I
I'll
go
put
to
the lightsaber on the table by
panel.
the bed.
and I say, Hakru, please come to the med bay.
I look over at
Jenna.
It's like, it is your call. Am I allowed to go?
Our crew, med bay, stat.
She says yes.
And he puts the crates down as gently as he can. He's like, never let it be said. I did not stick to my word about when this is your time. It is your time. And then I go to the med bay.
Okay.
I see the whole.
Yeah.
Like when he walks in and sees everyone there, he's like, "Is this a meeting?"
I'm leaning against the wall with a cup of coffee, or soy calf, or whatever.
Lash
Sipping
looks up at her crew and says, "If you were making one of those coats for him," and she like gives this real nasty look over at Jad, she says, "He doesn't deserve it."
Wait,
All the while, I'm just
Coats?
leaning up against the wall, spinning the slug thrower in my finger.
I wasn't making him a coat.
okay. Look, Jad, please stop shooting people that are our friends.
I thought that was your training. that
Lashara,
he was going to
stop
shoot at her.
asking people to shoot you that are your friends. Hakru, please patch up the wounds, and I'm gonna go check on the pilot. If you guys can work this out, I'll be really happy. Thank you. And I kind of walk out the door and shut it.
The crew walks up, looks at the wound, starts cleaning it, and everything, and goes through. Like, are we looking at like a single stitch wound here, or
Yeah, you realize there's a piece of metal in her shoulder. You got to get these
You might wanna get
nice
the slug
long
out
tweezers
first.
out. You stick them in the wound and get it and pull it out.
okay?
Oh.
This might be some of the best medical treatment you've ever had. Because I rolled a 15. Yeah, 25.
Yeah.
You're fully healed.
Yeah, I think it's a D8 or something like that.
Plus,
So-
like character level
Yeah.
or something.
She says, "Can I see that?" And she like
Slug
points.
piece?
Yeah, she points at the slug.
Oh, he doesn't
No,
even like. He
no.
like takes it out, like
No.
immediately puts it on the tray. He's not even like that because the slug comes out and then I wrap you up.
Yeah.
So
So
whatever you do while I'm wrapping it up, it's there.
With what you have medical wise, you put a little Bacta in there, and as you watch, it slowly heals from the inside out. There's no reason to bandage her up or anything.
Wait, did
I
Lachara
still
just
put a
ask for
Band-Aid
the
on.
slug thrower pistol or the slug
slug.
itself?
Yeah. She,
Oh, okay. I thought
Slug
she asked for the
thrower.
slug pistol.
Yeah,
I'm
the
like,
slug.
no.
So she reaches over in the
bam,
tray and
bam, bam! You can't have it.
She reaches over and grabs the slug out of the tray, and Jad's still sitting there like twirling his postal, and she like just chucks this bullet at him, and like she puts the force behind it.
Okay.
I'm gonna like
Throw
make a
object?
roll for that.
Let's see. I believe.
21.
What would that be? Use the force.
If she's got move object,
Yeah.
she can use it
Oh, yeah.
to propel or
I believe so.
yeah,
Yep,
she can
she does have
use
move
it to
object.
propel it because I guarantee you that thing weighs less than 5 kilograms.
Oh yeah. Use the force. Move object. Oh yeah. If your force check beats the target's reflex defense, the object hits and deals 1d6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Perfect.
What'd you say you rolled?
I rolled a 21.
Yeah.
I rolled a 10 plus 11.
Oh, is
My
that?
reflex is 21.
Oh.
that means-
that beats it.
That means it means yeah,
Equal
that means you
beats.
get hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of dodge out of the way and get it, and think. Ow.
So you take 1d6.
Yeah.
2.
2 points of damage.
She's happy with 2.
Got a nice little bruise up above his eye.
Her crew just instinctively just opens a cold pack and just like cracks it and just puts it on his head. Apparently, this is how she says thank you.
Oh well.
Okay. Dodd goes up into the cockpit, and the door opens, and Nanat is laying back in his seat, like snoring. And Leto is there, like adjusting something here and moving a switch there.
Leto, what's our ETA to Daghee?
I think it's just a few. It'll be about 3 hours. We
3
coming up
hours?
on it.
Well, provided that we're still alive, Let me know when we're within 15, 20 minutes.
Sure thing. I'll let everybody know.
Yeah, I'm wanting to get on the scanners and see if there's anything unusual when we jump out of hyperspace.
Okay.
So let me know.
All right.
Thanks.
Back to training for you two.
All right.
Okay. So Hakru goes back in and she starts where you guys left off. Lost, do you go back into the same area or do you go off with Jad?
Oh, heck no. I'm going back and talk to the master.
Okay.
I'll just walk by the door before they get started and say, Shara, I'm ready to shoot at you again whenever you are.
She growls a little, like just under her breath.
Give you a little.
So Jenna releases the remote and it goes up and she says, now we're going to randomize where the remote is going to be. And so it will be coming at you from different angles. And with that, the thing starts spinning and it darts off in different areas around you and starts shooting at you, which is a little bit more difficult than it was before.
Okay.
It's like 15 for one, 14, 19, different things like that.
Yeah, she beats it
Okay.
almost all the time.
Okay.
She has a plus 11 and use the force,
Yeah.
so
this is, as you're dueling with this thing, you're now seeing the shot you took from Jad is making a lot more sense now. Like you were just sort of practicing with coming in from one direction sort of thing, and so you're able to anticipate. But now this is a lot more randomized, and you're having to turn and make sure your balance is there and everything like that. So you think in the future, like you should be able to catch the slugs ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Building up confidence, that sort of thing. So next couple hours, anybody else want to do anything? Tanning
Like I said,
process is
Crew's
also-
very much on his shift work. If it goes
Yep.
training, lunch, his shift, which could be if Leto's piloting,
Yeah.
then he would be assisting fixing the ship, and then probably also spending that time helping Rura with any use computer that she's trying to learn.
Okay.
And then after dinner, he would start.
Okay.
So like he's gone as far as he can with the coat stuff.
Yeah.
Until we get the
I
chemicals.
think in the next 3 hours, you guys will be getting there right at lunch. So, Rura, are you going to try and rewrite your letter or start that process?
Yeah,
again?
I think I'm gonna try to sit down and get this letter written before planetfall is her goal. So.
Okay. I don't even know what to roll for that.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll just. She rolled the 2, so it didn't happen. She's
Okay.
still very frustrated and can't get what she wants to say out.
Yeah, I don't know if this would be like a charisma, but skill-wise,
or something. And either way, again, a 2 on a d20.
maybe a persuasion roll for
Yeah.
all this. Yeah. All right. 3 hours go by. Across the intership comm, Leto announces that you guys will be coming out of hyperspace in about 10 minutes.
Okay. I'll head towards the bridge and look
Okay.
for the scanning
Okay.
sensors.
Okay. You get in the co-pilot seat and Leto floats up and about. Nanat is awake and preparing. Anything else anyone want to do in the meantime while this is coming out of hyperspace? Any information packets or anything like that? Okay. Ship comes out. Daghee is right in front of you guys. The transponder has been changed, so now you guys are registering as a different ship. And I guess I think it's use computer.
Okay.
To
That's a good one for me.
get. Where's it at? I think it's near the bottom. Detecting other ships. Improve access. Use sensors. Use computer checks for functions as a perception skill. You can use computer check to use the sensors to avoid surprise, notice targets, search a ship's exterior for hidden weapons or compartments. Use computer check at a -5 for every 10 squares between you and the target. So I just roll your use computer and see what you get.
30.
That's really good. You're able to scan the near orbit of Daghee, and there is a ship nearby
Okay.
that's sort of floating out there, and you don't think they have noticed you.
Okay. I pointed out to Nanat. Hey, Nanat, look over there. And I kind of point to the whatever the equivalent to radar is, and then point at the ship.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can't get a little closer scan and identify it.
Yep. Use computer again.
All right. Ooh, even better. 35.
Okay. It is another one of those same freighters that you guys just got away from. And with a 35, you notice the markings on the outside. It's got a Tatari symbol on it. And as you guys fly in, it is sort of cresting the horizon of the planet. So you just basically get a sensor read as it goes to the dark side of the planet.
All right. Attention, all crew and passengers. It looks like we've got a Tatari cruiser in orbit around the planet. Let's get to our action stations and see what Nanat can do about bringing us in without a conflict. Nanat, what do you think our chances are of coming in quiet?
He guns it, and the ship lurches forward really fast. He says, "We're going to get down there before that thing has a chance to turn around or spot us."
Okay.
So we're repeating what we did last time. We ran into them.
Yeah. Yep. So everyone in the ship kind of feels it lurch with its
All right, everyone.
thrusters,
Turbulence to the left 2 times.
and the ship dives in. So the planet gets really big, really fast. And at the last second, he sort of pulls up, and instead of bouncing off the atmosphere or hitting it, you guys sort of slide into it real easy.
Okay. I'll do
yeah.
another sensor check to see if it looks like that ship had changed attitude or
Okay.
direction. Not as good. 23.
It's gone on the other side of the planet.
Okay.
So you're registering something, but it's just a blip now instead of full whatever it was.
Okay.
So you guys get down low, and he takes you guys pretty low to the ground and starts flying toward the city, or the small town, the mining town. So it's hard to, from orbit, pinpoint that sort of stuff, or pinpoint a starship. A couple minutes go by, and you guys get there, and he lands it pretty quick, almost a little rougher than normal, but the guys land really fast.
I would recommend loading for bear people. I make sure my heavy blaster is charged and put it in the case and get ready to
Okay.
find the down ramp.
He parks you guys really close,
Okay.
and then he turns the transponder on to nothing. So you guys have like just Ripper or something else, and then not giving out a signal at all. So
Okay.
you guys land. The ramp goes down, and you see a couple people coming towards you, and their faces are all lit up, and they're smiling.
Okay. Think. Who is the person that I need to speak to in this village that's in charge this town?
I don't think we figured that out last time, did we?
I'll just ask the first person I see. Hey, good to see you. I need
Welcome
to
back.
speak to you need to speak to whoever it is that you elected to be the leader of your crew.
We have come up with 3 people that are
Okay.
sort of town leaders, town council,
Okay.
and let me get this real quick.
A triumvirate, you don't say.
Always works out well.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Let me write this down so I don't forget. There is Kodo, Rix, R-I-X, and Tekla. Her name is
Okay.
Teckla.
If it's convenient, can you send someone to assemble those people so I could speak with them?
He says, yeah, and he starts to walk away, and he kind of waves at a woman. She's actually walking toward you guys anyway. He says, Tekla, they want to talk to the council. She says, okay, go off and get the other two, get Kodo and Rix, and we'll meet them at the ship. And she walks up and she gives a slight bow. She says, I'm Tekla. We've sort of taken on leadership of the town, so...
Great. Fine people. We're so excited to be working with you. I do have to warn you, however. We saw a T'Chari vessel above the planet just as we were landing. We think we got in without them noticing us, but I think that you should alert your militia if it's possible, and maybe consider hiding the civilians or putting them in a place where they can be not exposed to danger.
Okay. She says Haro has given us a scanning device, but it hasn't been put together just yet. He just delivered it yesterday.
Okay. Well, we'd like to get in and get out as quickly as we can so that we don't attract negative attention. And there's another thing that I'd like to bring up, if I could get all three of you together at the same time.
Okay. And about that time, Kodo and Rix are coming up, and they're waving and smiling too.
Do they need help setting up that scanning thing?
She says, yeah, we could. They were going to come back in a couple days and finish that up and some other things. But
I might be able to help you out. We might be able to get this up faster so you can go ahead and use it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Excellent.
And she calls someone over and she says, take her to the scanning device that they put in.
And take him to Jabba. Just kidding.
And they lead her off.
Okay.
And
I ping her comm link from my communicator just to make sure she's got it. Hers.
Yes, I do.
Cool.
Okay. And Kodo says, we can start loading up immediately if you need to.
That would be fantastic. But Hakru, are you around? I look for Hakru. Is Hakru around?
Yes, a crew is around.
All right. Hakru, could you join me for a moment?
He walks up. So you're on the bridge right now, right? Sorry, I was.
Nope. I'm on the ground, standing outside, talking to the leadership triumvirate of the Daghee people in this village.
Then I was probably like on ground with you, just looking at other stuff. Like,
Okay. Cool. Hakru, you have a friend that lives here, right? Someone that's close to Lashara as well. Yes.
there is Lena. Yes.
Lena might be helpful as well in this endeavor. Here's the situation, and I shake hands, or whatever the traditional greeting is with the people of Daghee. The Tatari are one kind of problem. We also have someone who is seeking our friend Hakru here, and this person has proven, or at least is reported to be, extremely dangerous. We don't believe that this person is going to accost you, but two things. One, if they do appear, it would mean a lot to me if you protect yourselves and just not be available for this person. And second, I'd like you to let us know by whatever means you have possible if this person appears here. And this is Hakru. He can give you a description of this person, and perhaps if we have time, I will seek out Lash and see if she can talk to Lena as well about this, because she may have some additional insight.
Okay. They've installed a communications device 2 weeks ago, and so that's up and running. We can communicate off-world now.
Okay. And esteemed leaders of this village, I do not mean to come across as dour or dark, but your people mean a great deal to me, and I would very much like to ensure your safety and not drag our problems to you.
Understood.
All right. Then I'll turn around and go find Lashara,
Okay.
wherever she is.
All right. Rura, you're taken into what looks like a not like it's a building that has been erected recently, and it is looks like it's a community center. And this is where they have their communications device and the scanning device and things like that. They're sort of setting up shop in here, and it's
Okay.
pretty nice. Everything's brand new, smells brand new, and the communications device you're looking at is pretty state of the art. It's pretty up to date, and so is the scanning ability. You think this thing can scan out pretty far, and possibly around the planet as well. It just hasn't been hooked up.
Right.
Like it's in a crate.
Can I do that with mechanics? Mm-hmm. When I start doing that.
Yep.
I natched.
Oh, nice.
So even the computer bits that I'm not really sure how they go, I figured out.
Yep. What'd you get all together?
A 33?
Nice.
Total of 33. Yes.
It's going to take about an hour, and you think that's what it's going to take to load up the ship.
Okay.
It's pretty simple. You don't really have to use computer to put this thing together. It's pretty basic. Set up a power source. You kind of calibrate it. In an hour, you think it's up and running. So do a basic use computer roll with this.
I got a 12.
Okay. It seems like the system is doing its own thing without you having to do too much. And it is registering something orbiting the planet that's now on the far side of the planet.
Okay. I point that out. Like I whoever's there, I'm like, I think it's all up and running. I think it's working. That's what we were talking about. That ship that might be Chitauri. So.
The kid comes over and pushes a few buttons, and it sort of gives a track around the planet, and you guys have about 3 hours before it will crest back around to where you're at.
Cool.
And he's like shocked. He's like, "Hey, look what I did!"
I'm like, yeah, here's how this works. Here's how this works.
Okay.
You should be good to go. And I.
Okay. About that time, Kodo comes in, and he goes over to the communications array and calls up the city nearby with a spaceport and starts talking to them about the Tatari are back. They're in orbit. We need to keep things on the down low for now. They're getting ready to send out another shipment. Make sure people are armed in case this group comes back. We don't know what they're going to do. And the other person says, we can do that. Cut back to outside, and they're working pretty hard to fill up the ship. They've got lots of anti-grav lifts. It seems like watching them load this stuff up seems like the same thing in a modernized spaceport. They've got all the technology they need to really move this faster than just carts.
If it seems like I won't be in the way, I'm going to help them however I can.
Yeah, it's basically going to the cargo bay, moving stuff out of the way so they can fill up the ship. And they say they have 11 more tons if you want to try and put that in than last time. So I think that'll be like squeezing it, like setting out in hallways and things like that. So
I'll be telling their foreman, yeah, put it all on. Put it all on.
Was I able to find Lash?
Yes.
Lash,
Yes, Dad.
how are you? How are you feeling?
My arm's sore, and I want to throw a couple more rounds at Jad, but I guess I'm all right.
I don't know what was. Look, hey, do you think we could reach out to Lena and let her know about this hazard that might be coming through town? She seemed to have a connection to this spiritual energy that you seem to be using and her crew seems to be using. I don't want her to be a beacon that would attract the attention of the person who's chasing her crew.
Sure. I reached out to her when we landed, sent her a message. to let her know you were here. I haven't heard anything back. Let me see if I can find out what's going on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We'll circle back to her crew. So the crew, how did that go?
I gave the description
Okay.
as you requested, and what else?
I clap your shoulder and I say, good man. And I turn around and walk away and go back to heavy things and moving them.
Okay.
At some point, I would have, after the scanning, getting everything set up, I would have calmed before I got back to the ship to let you know that we had 3 hours before the ship came back around.
Okay. Yeah, after an hour, the comm comes on. And I'm assuming all this stuff's happening in the meantime. So a couple minutes later go by, and Aurora comes on and says, we got about 3 hours for the crust around the planet. So Lash, you're reaching out for Lena. And are you on the computer screen, or are you just going to go to her house?
Well, I mean, I'm going to start just by, comms, whatever kind of comms we had set up, and
Okay.
see if she responds.
Her image pops up on the screen, and she is in her kitchen, cooking furiously. And there's several other people in her kitchen helping her cook as well. And she says, I'm so glad you made it back. We're fixing a meal for you guys to take with you. And we should be done in about 45 minutes.
Oh, that's great news. Thank you so much. We enjoy your cooking.
Makes
But
her
don't
giggle.
let me forget, I have something important to tell you as soon as you get a chance. I know you're busy right now,
Okay.
and it can wait for a little bit.
Okay. We'll bring the food over as soon as it's done. And
Thank you.
pots are being rattled in the background, and someone's like pointing at something else, and they're chopping furiously. Like, boop, goes out. 45 minutes go by, loading up is just about done, and Lena and about 6 other ladies of various ages are all hefting large containers or boxes with food, drink, all kinds of stuff. And they approach you guys, and she says, this is a little something we all put together for you guys for your trip, so you could have a home-cooked meal. And she says, do you want us to take it inside and put it in the kitchen?
Absolutely.
So all 6 ladies go in with jugs, and they're loaded down with food. And she starts putting things away and putting things out on the table and everything. So it takes them about
It looks
10
delicious.
minutes. It smells, the whole ship starts smelling really good. This is like a garlic and a curry sauce and all kinds of stuff. So it's very aromatic. Fresh bread, sort of thing. So, and she says, she's pointing to the other ladies, telling them where to put things up. And she turns to you and says, is there something you wanted to talk to me about, dear? And she takes your hands and puts her hands on yours.
She says, yeah, first of all, I really want to thank you for helping introduce me to the Force. I found a teacher,
Oh,
and I'm learning a lot. And she holds up, she like tucks her shirt back behind and pulls a lightsaber out of the holster. And she said, I've been training with this, and I think I might have showed it to her once before, but because we were on Daghee after we did the run,
Yes.
so I think I showed it to her before. But she's like, I've been training with this, and she puts it back on her hip, and she said, you've started me down a whole new path, Lena, and I'll never forget that. Thank you. And she like gives her a hug.
oh,
And she says, but there's something a little more serious to discuss. You remember our friend Hakru?
yes, yeah.
So it turns out that he's had a night sister on his trail. I don't know if you've ever heard of them before.
No.
So without getting too deep into his business, they're nothing to take lightly. His life is in danger, and the rest of us may be in danger just because she's chasing him. And I really wanted to let you know specifically because she's Force sensitive in a similar way than we are. They use the Force quite a bit differently than us. They use it what seems like spells and it's an entirely different way of using the Force, and it concerns me that you tap into the Force occasionally, and I don't want you to act like a beacon um, for her. So anything that you can do to hide yourself away while this danger is out there, it would make me feel so much better that you're safe. Um, and I'll let you know if anything progresses.
I'm not sure I know how to hide myself from the Force. I've never heard of that before.
Okay.
Is it just not using the Force? I can try not to use the Force for a while.
I'll have to consult my teacher to see if there's anything else you can do, because I know we have limited time. They're almost done loading up our ship, and we're going to be gone again. But I'll be back before we leave to let you know if there's anything else that we can do to keep you safe.
Okay. You guys are on the same ship as the hologram.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
you're basically in the kitchen.
Gotcha. Yeah. So she can just after before they start dinner, she's going to go in and talk to
Okay.
Jenna.
You walk in and Jenna is quietly meditating, it looks like.
So she's going to sit down into a meditative position and ask Jenna, I have someone here on the planet that I care about. She's the one that initially introduced me to the Force, and I have fear that the Night Sister may seek her out because she's a Force user and has a connection to our crew, and in a lighter way to Hakru. She says she doesn't know how to hide herself from the Force. We don't have long to be here, but is there anything that she can do to...
I could probably get her started. It didn't take long for her crew to pick it up, so it's a very basic thing to sort of conceal yourself. Is she here?
She is. I will go get her for you.
Send her in, and I'll see what I can do.
All right. So she goes back and tells Lena about Jenna and introduces them.
Okay. And she sits down in front of her, and Jenna just starts going through the process of how to sort of conceal yourself. She's keeping it very basic, and she just tells her to keep practicing. And if she senses anyone sensing out for her, that's when she goes into quiet mode or dorms down, basically.
Okay.
So it doesn't take long. Like about 8 minutes worth of training, and she starts practicing, and she seems to be pretty good at it right off the bat. Let me see. Yeah. She takes her a minute, but all of a sudden she gets it, and she kind of like, you sense her sort of vanish from the Force. You can't quite see her or feel her. And then she says, is that it? And Jenna says yes. And she looks up at you and says, can you sense her? And you sort of do
I
the
shake
thing.
my head no.
Yeah. She says that's the feeling you want to get when you're trying to hide yourself. She says, I don't know if she's going to come searching for you or find you without having already known you exist, but she may. Sensing individuals we've met and known is a lot easier than just sort of blanket sensing people, unless they're actively using the Force and doing crazy stuff. So she says, don't use it unless you have to, and sort of, as soon as you feel a ripple, then go ahead and hide yourself. And she says, okay, I think I could do that. And she says, and she bows to her and she says, it was very nice meeting you, and shakes her hand and goes back out into the galley. And about this time, everything's been finished up. You guys are loaded. And she says, the food's all ready to go. She says you can serve it yourselves once you hit hyperspace. And we'll see you guys later, I guess. We'll go ahead and keep mining. But give us about another 4 or 5 weeks to get some more stuff done.
Excellent.
And she says, she goes through and says hello to everybody and gives you all little hugs, and heads back out to the bottom of the ramp, and the other girls have followed her out. And the most of the town's kind of present at this point, wishing you guys well. Was there anything else you guys needed or wanted to get while on planet?
Oh, supplies for tanning.
Yes. Was it an hour away by speeder bike and then back? So about
to get to the city.
yeah. So about the time you guys are getting ready to take off, a speeder bike comes back, and one of the kids gets off, and he's got like 2-gallon things of liquid, and he's bringing them over. They're pretty large containers. Maybe it's 2 gallons per each, and he's lugging them over, and he sets them down. He's like, "I'm glad I made it back before you guys took off, but these are the chemicals you wanted."
Oh, awesome! Thank you. And then I pay the child.
Yeah. No, he doesn't take any payment for it, and a couple other people give you some tanning tools that they've had around, just as a thank you.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
no cost, and everyone starts wishing you all a safe journey.
I try to find someplace to put these things since we've got an overfull
Yeah.
cargo hold. And
Probably everything sort of got pushed up against the wall, so this will probably either have to go in a storage closet or in your room, that sort of thing. But you guys have a couple places you can stash stuff. But yeah, there's
You can store it in
crates.
the cruiser room.
There's
He's fine with
crates
that.
sitting around now of the tour, in the hallways, in the living area.
Same room? I don't remember. Just jump it in one of the bunks.
Yeah, you guys got a couple extra bunks. So you guys are ready to go. They're all sort of waving, wishing you guys good luck, and the ramp closes up. The ship takes off and flies low for a little while, and then Dodd, do you want to do your
36 sensors.
takes a couple minutes as you guys are flying low, and he basically turns straight up and goes straight into the sky. Everyone kind of feels the inertia from it. So if you're not prepared or sitting down, it's jarring. You kind of have to grab onto something because he guns it into out of the atmosphere.
Boy, I hope all those crates are really tied down well.
Yeah, there is some shifting. You hear some like groaning from the cargo areas, but he gets it out into the star field, and you hit the button, and the stars all streak, and poof, you guys are in hyperspace again.
The plus side of overcrowding everything is there's less room for it to move around.
Yes. Yeah. So
I do one of these.
Yep. Another day's journey. Anything you guys want to do in the meantime? You can't really get to a lot of stuff. There's not a lot of practice area.
I do wish we had more time at Daghee to spread out, but with that Tatari ship in orbit,
Yeah.
I don't know.
With
I look at. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just popping real quick. I mean, Hakru's, like, if I don't have room to work on the tanning and the leather stuff, basically it's whenever he's on flight shift, Hakru's flying.
Okay.
Whenever he's not flying, he's like, okay, this is literally the only thing I can do. Like, he's just really sticking to that. This is the promise I made to give it my all.
Mhm.
So, like, he's not like making a big gesture about it, but it's really important to him
Okay.
that he maintains this.
Okay. And Jenna is basically going to run you guys through calisthenics, to keep you in shape, keep you going, get you more honed, that sort of thing. So it's a lot of running, it's a lot of handstands, jumping around, that sort of stuff. So you're having to sort of parkour through the cargo bay over all these boxes and stuff, and then handstands and lifting some up with the force while you're general stuff.
Parkour.
Yep. Anybody else wanted to do anything in the meantime?
Lash.
How-
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Mary.
Oh, I was just gonna say, how long is this overall trip?
Another 24 hours.
Okay, it's just 24 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
She is still trying to write a letter, just now curled up in a bunk trying to do it, and it's still not going well.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like you need more space to write this because you've got like pieces of information you have like to spread out, and you're trying to like, what's the best way to put this together, sort of thing. So, if no one else has got anything to do, training
Lash.
keeps continuing. Go ahead.
Lash, during one of the meditation practices, Lash is going to be kind of deep into her meditation and summative images of her mother and father,
Okay.
quote unquote, and it's going to make her kind of homesick a little bit. And she is also going to write a communication to them explaining that she's okay and that she started on a new path in her life and has a new teacher and seeks to become a Jedi. And not to worry about her, and she will stay in touch when possible.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, roll a use the force check.
Uh, 22.
All right. 22. Okay. It's just you thinking about them and getting homesick and but you don't sense them. There seems like they're too far away. So the process continues for you to, both of you writing and trying to figure it out. One's on a pad, I assume, and the other's doing physical writing. So if there's nothing else, then the 24-hour period goes by. Hakru, roll your use the force.
It's at least a 20.
Okay.
20 total.
Okay. You are... Where to go? You are sleeping and you're being hunted on Dathomir. And you're the old version of you that was all torn up and not processed yet, and you're trying to get away, and you know someone's right behind you, and it's a full-on feeling of panic taking over, and you're running and running and running, and you keep looking behind. You don't see anybody, but you know someone is behind you. Eventually you trip and fall, and as you're trying to get back up, you hear the footsteps come up behind you, and as you turn around, there is Sula, and she has a large spear, and she says, I knew I would catch you. And she reaches back and starts to put the spear in you, and a hand comes out and grabs the spear. And she's struggling, and she looks up, and you look over, and there is Jenna standing there with one hand on it very calmly. And the spear is like at your neck, and she slowly moves it back. She doesn't say anything, but she looks at you with sort of a sad, concerned look, or her eyes really emote that she is concerned about your well-being, and a little sad that you're sort of having to go through this, that you're putting yourself through these sort of nightmares, and she pushes it back, and eventually Sula vanishes, and with that Jenna vanishes as well, and you're laying on a field in Dathomir looking up at the sky. One of the birds is flying by, and you wake up, but not in a cold sweat, but feeling sort of warm and protected a little bit.
Hakru definitely during that look exchanged with Jenna would have a look of somewhere between disbelief and mistrust. And if I'm on a field on Dathomir,
Yeah.
it just in his gut, it's just it's like looking around literally at a field of lies.
Yep. So that's what happens. You wake up and it's time. You guys are not coming out of hyperspace, but you've got a few hours left before you guys come out, and everyone's having breakfast in the morning. So anything else? Anybody wants to talk about anything? It's breakfast. Everyone's kind of there. Eating leftover food. She made some breakfast stuff for you guys.
I'm still just regretting not being able to kick back and at Daghee. It's just eating at me.
Yeah.
The whole
But the
Tatari thing.
Yeah, the food's helping. I mean, it's nice home-cooked food that you're probably getting every morning.
I mean, that stuff's pleasant. The people on the ship are great. It's just, I do eyeball Jad and Lashara a few times just to make sure there are no new holes in them.
Yeah.
I really
catch
thought that would go
Lashara.
over with a little bit more chuckling, but
You-
okay.
Twirling the slug thrower on the table.
Yeah, and you catch
Staring at it.
Lasara like seeing this and like glaring at Jad a couple times, but it seems fairly lighthearted.
Okay. Good deal.
Okay.
Our crew has been amazingly quiet for the last couple of days, so I
Not
will
really. He's
turn
just
my-
going around doing his own thing.
Yeah, well,
He's just
usually his own thing is up in somebody else's business learning something, and you haven't been doing that.
I have no space to do my study shit. Like, I was actively learning and doing my stuff, and now we've got a full compartment. So he's like, I can't do anything.
Well, let's see what we can do about emptying that in a couple hours.
Yeah, the knot's coming through, and he's got like a bagel in his mouth and a big cup of a drink or tea or whatever it is. And he stops and looks at you guys, and then goes on and does his thing. Goes to his bunk and crashes for a little bit.
Nice.
Leto comes around and he says, we've got about 6 more hours, and we'll be at the construction company again. So,
Same thing as last time later. Give me a heads up when we get ready to come out of hyperspace.
will do. So a couple more hours if you guys want to get through anything or training or anything like that. It's up to you. And eventually, you guys get the note. The comm system opens up, and Leto says, we're approaching Dirk Teal.
Excellent.
ETA 10 minutes.
Same deal. Head towards the front of the ship.
Okay. He turns the eventually Nanat comes up and he turns the transponder to whatever the alias is. And he says, all right, we're coming out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and he throttles back and the stars appear again and Dirk Teal comes out. Lots of traffic and everything flying through. And he noses down pretty nonchalantly, not in a hurry, but not too slow. Pretty uneventful. You guys land. As you're coming in, you guys contact Haro, and he says, you guys can land here, or you can land in the repair hangar, which can actually be closed, and we can unload there.
That sounds
It's
wise.
a little more discreet. It says
Let's do that.
we've got a couple people for you to meet while you're here too, and he kind of gives a really wry smile. He says, more on that when you
Okay.
land. And he clicks out.
Sense motive. What is that skill?
That is perception, I believe, to figure out if he's lying to you.
Perception. It's not a matter of lying. It's just, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Or I suppose really the big scare that I have is he under duress?
Okay.
Social sciences.
It's perception. It's basically detecting that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Deception would be the antithesis to that if he was lying to you.
19 total.
You think he's genuinely excited. It's almost like he caught something for you.
Okay.
Not that he's, going to surprise Darth Vader on you at a lunch.
Well, that thought had crossed my mind. So I walk back to the crew compartment, and I say, "Well, looks like Haro's got someone he wants us to meet. We're gonna dock in a enclosed repair facility. Hopefully, we're gonna get our money and put some repairs into this ship, unless anybody's got any ideas otherwise."
I mean, that's kind of what we came here for, right? To get
Yep.
the ship fixed and things added to it.
Yep.
Yeah, you know how it is.
All right.
Okay.
So you guys
Sounds great.
come into the city and you sort of pass up the construction company in, I'd say it's about a mile off. near the edge. It doesn't look like it's as trafficked as the rest of the spaceport. And there's a little tiny like hangar, and you guys fly down, and the doors open up, and you guys fly in, and the doors close kind of behind you. It's a pretty good sized facility. It's definitely a garage, a workspace, but it looks like there are offloaders waiting for you guys. And so you guys turn and land.
Start hauling out the stuff, like getting it closer to the cargo bay. The stuff that we had to pilot in corridors.
Nudge it a little bit. That's a little closer. The cargo bay's open, and a crew comes out that's all dressed in. They've all got his logo on their shirts and stuff, and they just go right to work. They don't no small talk with them or anything. They offload everything, and about the time they're done, Haro arrives in a nice speeder, a closed-in speeder, I should say. And he gets out and he says, "Welcome back."
Fancy.
Did he see that? We had some reports that there was some combat when you guys were leaving. Was that you guys?
I mean, we got shot at, and we're still fixing some of the damage to the ship. So
So that makes sense. We caught a couple Tatari guys poking around after you guys left, and we've detained them. So I don't know if you guys wanted to talk to them or what.
Excellent.
But we've got them in a secure area
I'd
nearby.
like to have a couple words.
So yeah.
are you sure you don't mean bullets?
So one of the
I'm not gonna say.
one of the workers comes up and hands him a pad, and he looks at it and he goes, "Oh, you sent us a little more than normal." So he types up a couple numbers, and he says that's about 27 we owe you guys then.
Great. Well, we've got a lot to discuss. Thank you for that.
Sure.
And
Do you want to get them on your upgrades now, or?
yeah, give me a few
Yeah.
minutes to huddle up on that. And where can we meet you for these detained Tatari?
I can take you in the speeder.
Okay.
The less
Give
the less
me-
open air you guys see, the safer it'll probably be.
Give me 10 minutes to lock down our plans. We'll talk to your foreman. You did mention that we would be receiving specialized pricing on this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
So give us the upgrades, and we'll work out a deal.
All right. Sounds great. I'll go back and walk up the ramp. And what are we doing? Did we
feel like
decide shield?
I think
And
we're
gun?
shield and gun, right?
How much extra did we get paid for the extra
27,000.
7,000? Okay.
Yeah.
So what's our total at this point?
60, right about.
We can do a lot.
65.9, almost 66.
So that second laser cannon is going to cost 22.5.
Okay.
The shields that we want is 10.
Okay, so that gives us about 30, but we got to pay the crew too. So
We also talked about doing. Did we want more armor?
armor or hyperdrive?
Well, we had talked about armor, but then we decided maybe hyperdrive to be able to go places faster. But
There was also
No, I can't
combat
remember.
thrusters too.
Yep, combat
Or
thrusters. So
atmosphere.
that's right.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different stuff you guys can
Andrew, you're muted.
tinker with.
Thank you. Sorry, my dog was being a dog, so I had to mute myself.
Not just a dog, a puppy.
Yes, he is a puppy. He's adorable.
There's also a thing called regenerating shields, which is different than regular shields.
Right.
They're a bit more expensive, and we can add them too. But since we have money, it's up to you guys.
Right. That is something a mechanic can do that
Yeah.
would not cost
Yeah.
you money.
We
Right,
have
that's the
enough
thing.
mechanics that having one during a dogfight dedicated to shields,
Right.
not a terrible thing.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say the big things definitely the second cannon because we do need more firepower. The shields because A, we need something for a mechanic to do during a dogfight, and B, oh my god, do we need those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Armor.
Is it just 1 point of armor? Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just 1 point of armor, which basically takes our
It's damage reduction, though, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
DR one.
Just 1 point though.
yeah, it's an extra point of DR, which
You
again
shot
not
5
terrible.
times, that's 5 points.
Yeah.
Right, it's not terrible. So definitely something to. But that also strikes me as like maybe a little bit later and maybe something more than one.
I think that those combat thrusters, though, because we were just a sitting dock,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we
Like-
couldn't move for anything.
like out of character. Remember the Millennium Falcon in the fight in A New Hope, right?
Right.
Versus the Millennium Falcon in all of the other movies.
Right.
That's the difference, in
Yeah.
my opinion, on the
Yeah,
combat
definitely.
thrusters.
Right, and since we go down a ship size, that's effectively adding to our AC.
Right.
Yeah.
So
How much is
I'm-
that?
It's the same as the armor.
Not much. 10K.
it's the same as the armor, and it goes in faster, and
Yeah.
it takes up less slots.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Well, let's do that. I mean, we'll do whatever you guys want to do. Obviously, I want to.
I'm on
I just
board
want
with
to make
that.
sure.
I like the idea of the thrusters because it's something that can be actively used in combat instead of
Right.
just a static DR number, but somebody can use them to
Right.
with
Right.
rolling and engagement and such.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
those 3 upgrades are what we should do: the combat thrusters, the hyperdrive, and the double light laser cannon.
Okay, so that would cost us normally 40,000 ish.
It would cost us 42,500.
Okay,
42,500 and take 3 days for installation.
roughly 40,000. That would give us 25,000 left over ish.
If it's 42.5, we're gonna be 23.3.
That's not bad.
Okay. And then we take 10 and divide it up amongst the crew. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's a lot
Okay.
of money.
And then we
That's a
hold
lot of money
on
for a
to-
person.
Yeah, and then we hold on to 10 for ship costs futures. Does that seem agreeable to everybody?
Is there 5 crew, so we each get 20K?
What?
10.
Huh?
6
Two
because
thousand.
6 because we have to include Nanat.
Yeah,
Okay, so there's 6
so
and
we
it's
could do
6 into 10.
12,000.
Yeah, 1,200 each.
1,200. That's what it is. 1,200.
Yeah,
12. Wait, what?
taking 10,000 to divide it amongst 6 people. Should I get my
we wanna
calculator
up-
out?
Do we want to up that at all?
We can raise it. I don't care.
I would
mean,
say
'cause-
just do the 12,000 and give everybody 2.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
And then there's
That's
still
easier math.
and then there's still 11,000, almost 11,500 left for the ship.
And that doesn't include whatever the break we get on cost. What we could do is
Right.
we could just
Right.
whatever that break is that happens, we add that to the crew's take. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds
So,
good
like-
to me.
Okay.
I mean, there is literally only one thing left on Hakru's shopping list, and then
Yeah.
as far as from a player standpoint, there's literally nothing else I'll need.
The only thing Dodd's saving up for is the security droid, and that was something that I had talked to Kirk about way back when I was building the character. So
Yeah.
he's just kind of pocketing money for that eventually. HK 45, you know what I mean. Greetings, meat bags.
Yeah.
47. 47.
So let's go ahead and talk to Haro and let him know about the upgrades we want to do.
Yep.
And see what the cost is going to be versus standard cost, and go from there.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
We'll walk back down after our huddle.
Yep. And he's standing there talking to a guy, and they're loading the tour on a covered sort of transport so that no one knows what it is or where it's coming from, or what's inside.
Smart.
And he turns around and he says, "What do you have for me?"
Okay. I think that we need to upgrade the thrusters. I'd like to put a belly gun on this thing.
Give him the thing. He looks
And
over.
we're thinking finally some shields.
These are all
Okay.
looking really good. We could do this. How does 34 sound?
It's a hell of a deal.
That sounds extremely reasonable.
Done. And he puts his thumb on the thing and it lights up. He hands it off to one of the guys and they nod. And he goes over his comm and people start sort of coming out of workshops and stuff and they're pulling things together and
God, I feel like I should have negotiated that, but it was such a good deal.
20%.
Oh, yeah,
Cherry
that's a,
deal.
20%
that's a
off.
ridiculously good deal.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
cherry
we
deal.
basically got the thrusters for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with it. I just, I'm like my character's like the
I should have
inside
negotiated.
brain. I was thinking I should have said, you know what? Why don't we make it an even 30 grand, or something? But nope.
8,500 off.
I
So
was stunned by his generosity in
Yeah.
the first place.
he's very
Yeah.
upfront and you guys are, he's making a lot of money on the tour. So he's just passing it on to you guys. I mean, that's what it is.
I did listen to his tech lieutenant's track, and I did share it with the rest of the crew. Did
Okay.
they like it? What was her name again? Lady
Arula?
Arula? Yeah. Was that the
Chad
track
did
about
not
to play?
Jad didn't like it. Yeah. There you go.
Let's see.
You're into Bith tunes?
Yes.
Needs more cowbell.
Number 2 on things Hakru does not understand is music.
So what's the general consensus for everybody? They all like it or not like it, or
Yeah.
I mean, I
Lash
liked
likes
it. I'm pretty sure I liked it.
I think Roar would have liked it more if it hadn't been really loud and annoying, and she was really frustrated with her letter. So I feel like if her emotional state had been better, she would have liked it.
okay.
Man.
While you're standing around in the cargo or in the garage, Dodd, make a perception roll
You got it.
as you're talking about it and like going over the music. And I really like this structure and I like that.
All right, I rolled a 17, and I need to add that to 9, so it's 26.
Yeah, as you're talking, all of a sudden, like your ear perks up, and you go quiet for a second. You start concentrating, and you're hearing her music, another piece, being played off in one of the parts of the garage, and the guys are kind of, going on with it. So you're like, oh,
But I recognize
she's pretty
the
good.
style
Yes,
in her.
yeah.
Okay.
And you're like, oh,
Gotcha.
that's her again, and
Noted.
she is putting her stuff out there, and people are listening to it.
Cool.
So, how long do the upgrade's going to take? Ugh.
3 days.
3 days. Okay.
It kind of depends. So, however many I think it takes a crew of 5.
Yes, it takes a crew of 5. That many days it's on the sheet. If there's more people, it takes less time.
Right. So if he has 3 crews of 5, it will take 2 days. One crew will take 1 day to do one thing. One crew will take 1 day to do another, and then the third crew will take 2 days to do the shields, which take 2 days.
He's got a crew of 6 here that he can throw at you.
A crew of 6. Then
So it takes us 4 days.
yeah,
Yeah.
4 days.
Yeah. So that's part of the deal. He's not throwing everybody
puts
at
us-
it, but
If he puts us up in the same kind of arrangement that he did last time,
Yeah.
I'm not going to mind 4
Yeah.
days.
yeah, he says these are his 6 best guys.
Okay.
So because it is the Ripper, her crew is going to want to help install all this stuff.
Okay.
Because when it breaks, her crew is probably going to have to fix it.
Okay.
Or at least that's the way he kind of sees this. Kind of taking on more of that, this is my car grease monkey thing.
Sure.
But other than that, day 1, he's going to want to be off the ship. So he's not going to help on day 1. He'll help on days 2 through 4.
Okay.
Day 1, he's going to go spend 1,000 of his earnings on getting a flight suit.
Okay.
Didn't you just buy a... Oh, that was
I
a
bought
space suit.
space suits
Okay.
for the ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a flight suit for her crew.
Okay.
Okay.
Before you take off, he says you guys need to conceal yourselves around the city because apparently there are people looking for you. So
Yeah.
cloaks up, hoods up, that sort of thing. Be very discreet.
Yeah, your lieutenant gave us a little bit of the lowdown.
Yeah, maybe if you're going out, go out in pairs, that sort of thing, while someone's watching over your back while you're shopping or whatever.
Were we gonna go talk to the
That's
prisoners
the plan. Yeah.
first before we split off and go do things?
The crew has no interest in that.
All right. So does anybody want to go with her crew?
The crew doesn't mind going by. He understands the safety and everything,
I
but he
think
also doesn't mind going by himself.
Rora would be interested in a torture session or a confession session, so she would be happy to go with her crew.
Okay. Yeah, and you two are the ones that I would assume would want to be there for the modifications too, correct?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
So this is probably a really quick
a good
like
chunk of
shopping
time
thing.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I'd imagine we could find a
Okay.
a flight suit within like a spaceport vendor.
Yeah.
Right.
And it is
Yep.
just like, and because of the warning, it is go there, get it, come back. He's telling everyone exactly where he's going. We know the distance. He's taking a speeder bike.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Rura and Hakru go off to look for some stuff.
This is a space station, right?
It's a big spaceport
Yeah.
with a large shopping bazaar attached to it, and there's also a city around it too that has other things.
But it's in space.
No,
right?
it's on a planet.
It's on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did I always think that we're dealing with Haro, that we're on like
I thought we were on like when
Space
because he said
station?
space station, so I was picturing like a satellite orbiting a moon or something.
yeah.
No, it was a spaceport
we're
where
planetside.
starships can land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We stopped listening at space. The top row stopped listening at space.
That's how it works.
Yeah,
generally.
This is a huge construction facility on the ground. So it was like an 8-story building that he lives in personally. So you guys shopped around here before. I think this is where Lashara found the scroll on this planet. I could
Yeah,
swear.
we
The
are-
library. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're familiar with
I
this
bought a
place.
plant.
Okay. Yeah.
Rura finds like a cloak and a hat to cover up her one ear that is distinctively missing a chunk.
Okay.
The crew's gonna like go almost like full turban because he's from a desolate desert planet, so
Yeah.
that's what he would have used to like hide his head and face.
Okay. Yeah, as you two are shopping, you realize that you don't think the rest of the crew has some sort of low-key concealment clothes. So I don't know if one of you like, oh, maybe we should get something for the others just in case we're somewhere
I was like,
else.
it would make sense.
Cloaks for everybody, that
Rura
sort of thing.
would think of it because she literally was like, I think I own like one set of overalls that
Right.
have like a hole through the chest. I don't think I ever got any more clothes. So
Yeah, so Hakru has
Yeah.
literally one more set of clothing than you. He
Yeah.
has the tattered flight suit that he wears every
Right.
day that he found on the Ripper.
Yeah,
And then he has the really nice set that Lash bought him.
right.
And that's all the clothes Hakru has.
right.
Yeah.
So finding something to camouflage yourself would be like, well, I don't have anything. I wonder if anybody else
Right.
does
Yeah,
either.
the crew
so.
took the rags he was wearing when he got thrown out of a dump chute on Dathomir, wrapped that around his head,
Yep.
called it a turban, and moved on with his life.
Yeah. So you guys are in this little tiny shop. It's got a lot of just basic spacer clothes, and right now they're doing a sale 3 for 1 on parkas with a hood.
Perfect.
Just to confirm, did we pay ourselves, or did we?
Yeah. How much more did we
revisit that?
pay ourselves? Yeah.
Yeah, you got
Because
8,000
we-
extra, 8,500 extra.
Yeah. So instead of the 23,000 we thought, we've got 32,000 to work with.
Left over.
Yeah.
I still think we need to hold on to about 10 grand for the ship.
Right.
I would
Operational
leave
stuff.
20 just in there at all times.
Well,
It's up
But
to
I'm
you guys.
also like a paranoid saving person, so
Let's see.
yeah, I don't really care.
It's not easy
So-
easy to tap it. I mean, it's easy to tap it if you need that. If you're out
Right,
shopping, you're like, oh, I wish I had an extra grand.
Exactly.
super easy.
That's
to
why.
pull
That's
it
why
out
I'm
of
always
group.
like, keep 20 in there, and we'll just.
Yeah, because
Yeah, all right,
what you're
so-
walking around with is cred chips, and if something happens,
So we'll say 12,000.
Got divvied up.
Everybody gets 2.
okay.
Cool.
Yeah,
And
so you
that
guys
leaves-
can
sorry.
you guys can buy whatever you want in here, all kinds of clothes. You see better versions of what you have on you that aren't that unreasonable.
Yeah. So Crew definitely buys a flight suit as his new like everyday clothes.
Ooh, and a bathrobe. They've got those too. This is fuzzy. I could wear this around. Some house shoes.
What is a bath?
Oh, you remember that thing? Did you ever go into the bathroom the last time we stayed here? There was that big hole in the floor that had like faucets.
Yes, it's where you go to the bathroom.
Oh no, my friend. Oh, I feel sorry for. Remind us to tip the cleaning people better this time. No. That you can fill it up with water and soak in it, and it is one of the. Well, it's nice occasionally.
Says the woman whose 90% of her face is nasal cavity.
Yes,
And
but
the
she's also
thing
like
is-
cat, so it's sometimes nice. It's not an all the time thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also on the list of things Crew does not understand, comfort and etiquette. 2 different things that he doesn't understand.
So while you're talking to him, you realize there's other things about using the toilet and showering and basic hygiene that you kind of just, not like you're going into teacher mode, but it's just you just start talking to him about it, like, oh, there's a toilet and you use that, and you get in the shower and you turn the water on and you get the temperature right and you scrub down and then you dry yourself, and just normal conversation. She's just
and I
rattling
avoid
it off.
asking how you've been doing it on the ship because I don't want to know, and I haven't found it yet, so it's fine.
Yeah, whoever bunks with him knows what's going on. There's a sonic shower, and you got to sonic that thing up every day. Put it on auto clean, auto wash.
Is that the thing that Dodd says stand here for 10 minutes? He makes me stand in this one spot every day for 10 minutes.
That is a way to get clean. The bath is a much nicer, like, take your time and a book and a glass of wine kind of get clean.
Yep, she goes into the whole thing, and you're like, maybe
It
that does sound
rather
interesting.
lovely, you know. Not that I'm there.
Are there lavender bath oils?
I'm sure we can find some. We're at a spaceport. I'm sure they have all kinds of things.
On the list, lavender bath
There you
oil.
You guys march out and start going in a different direction.
Okay.
All
so
Jad wants to look for some Mando armor, even though he can't wear it yet.
Okay.
Maybe want to put it in a crate and put it off to the side if he can find it.
Okay. You looked here before, correct?
I couldn't remember if it
Couple
was
days
here
ago?
or the other planet.
I think it was just a couple days ago you were here. So you go
Yeah.
back out and do your search again. Stop in the same shops like you got any of the stuff again. Go ahead and roll. The difficulty is like 40.
What are we rolling here?
This would be a perception.
Gather information, perception.
Yeah.
Well,
gather
that's better.
information. Gather information.
Well,
this
that's
time.
worse. 17 is not good.
17. You're asking someone, and they just look at you like, what? And this person starts telling you about Mando armor and how difficult it is to get a hold of, and that entire race ran off their planet and kind of in a hiding right now. So the chances of you finding Mandalorian armor are going to be almost zero unless you find a Mandalorian and somehow manage to kill him being the same size as you and you taking the armor off his dead body, which would also cause other Mandalorians to instantly kill you on sight if they found you with it on.
I don't really believe you, so I'm gonna move on. Thanks.
Okay. You walk out and you're like, huh. You go into another store and you ask them the same thing, and they look at you like, no, we don't have any of that. And now it's kind of, after a couple more searches, you're kind of under the impression that he may have been telling you the truth by the way people are reacting to you every time you ask about it.
I'm gonna find another planet. It's better than this place.
Okay. So you guys are off shopping, and we're going to cut to Dodd and Lashara, who are...
I have one quick question.
Sure.
Just to finish up. How much would those hooded parkas be? Because you should just buy one, get three
Hardly
free. So it's
Oh
like,
yeah,
I know
how
it's
many
like
do we actually buy?
common clothes.
common clothes. Okay, I'll just look that up.
Yeah. I think it's in
And then,
the...
like, what were we thinking here for the bath oils? Like 6 credits?
Yeah, nothing crazy.
Okay. Cool. Now I'm done. I'm gonna be off on my own doing math.
Okay. And it's in the fandom wiki at the bottom of whatever page it's on. It's in the notes, so it's
it's in
not
the
official.
comments.
Yeah. All right. So we cut back to Lashara and Dodd, who are being led into a holding facility, and Haro's with you guys, and he opens the door and closes it behind him, and in a cell are 2 scruffy looking guys, and they look like they've been kind of roughed up already, but they both have the Tatari symbol on them.
Okay.
Tattooed or like?
It's
Like,
on their shirt.
Okay. So this is them?
Yep, and they're just looking around.
Dad, do you have any questions for these Tatari scumbags?
Yeah. Might have a couple.
You both
But first,
kinda
I'm
look
going
at
to
you
play the
guys.
game where. Is this like an interrogation room? Or...
It's a cell. They're in a cell.
Okay. So they're just kind of sitting in the cell, and there's like an energy barrier.
No,
Okay.
this is an old school cell with bars.
Okay.
Nothing fancy. It looks like it may have been a cargo hold for some animal at one time.
Right. I'm going to stand just about a little bit over an arm's length from the bars, like if they went shoulder to the bar,
Right.
just outside of that reach. And I'm just going to stand there, and whichever one looks at me first, I'm going to give him the old eye. Just look at him.
All right. Number 2 looks up at you. They're both like sitting on the ground, like they've been resolved themselves that they're in jail and they're probably not getting out. One looks up at you.
Morning. Is it morning?
It is afternoon, early morning afternoon.
Well, good afternoon.
They just the other one kind of looks up at you too and gives you a quizzical look.
I
Everybody
said,
freeze up. Oh,
good afternoon.
One of them looks up at you and like snorts. And the other one kind of looks at him and looks at you and looks back down.
So, how'd you guys end up here?
We got caught.
Oh, rats. Always a drag. You know, I wish that I never got caught at anything. So tell me, what were you doing?
One of them, the one looks up at you and looks back down. The other one goes, "We're just looking around."
Mm-hmm. And what were you looking for?
One of them goes, "A ship."
Ah, which one?
About at the same time almost, but they both go, "The ship called the Ripper."
Oh, that one. Gotcha. And who's on that ship? Or is it something that's on that ship that you need?
Just the ship.
Just the ship? It's just a ship. Right? This is the Ripper that I don't know. Maybe I've heard of it.
There's a bounty out on it. We wanted the bounty.
Oh. Come on. Look, you're wearing a Tatari pin. Right? You have to be better informed than that.
They both kind of look at their Tatari symbols. Look back at you.
Yeah, well.
So at this point, so they're not going to answer.
No.
So Lashara is going to try one of her new skills. She is going to attempt a mind trick.
Okay.
And she is going to say, she's going to kind of move her hand a little bit and say, it's okay for you to tell us who your boss is and who issued the bounty. So I'm going to use a
Make your roll.
Sweet. 31.
One you lock eyes with and do that too. He says, we're reporting to Scoria. And the other guy goes, what? Why are you telling him that?
Oh, so not Odant Garen.
He looks up at you. No, he's just a public puppet.
Huh.
Scoria's in charge. He's in charge of Odant.
And what's he after?
The ship called the Ripper.
Right. Why? Maybe I should find this Ripper.
Well, the other guys. Man, why are you telling him everything? He says they apparently messed with the Hutt's money. And the Hutt wants them.
The Hutt. I look over at Lashara. My eyes just really big. What was the name of that person that he just said?
Scoria. Scoria.
So I'm assuming this is Scoria the Hutt.
The guy laughs. The other guy who's not under mind control laughs. No, it's not. That's not who that is. Let's see, Scoria.
The guy who's under mind control. What does he say?
He just sits there. He's glazed over.
Gotcha.
So
Scoria's a calamari, Mon Calamari.
Who says this? This guy,
The glazed over guy.
Mon Calamari. Mon Calamari aren't really notorious gangsters. I say out loud.
And they always look glazed over.
Oh, this guy is a Mon Calamari?
No, Scoria is.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
That's all right.
But Jad's right. They always do look glazed over. And I understand that they're particularly sensitive to traps. Anyway.
They're really good at seeing the lay of the land. So that sort of thing.
Yeah.
We're pretty good at appetizers too.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. All right. Is there anything else you want to tell me? Hey, quick question. Guy number 2. I say. What would you be willing to do to get out of here?
This is the mind guy or the other one?
The other guy. Yeah.
Says I'd knock somebody off for you.
Huh. How about you, guy number 1?
30 something on his thing.
30 something on his. Oh yeah.
He says I'd kill him.
Huh. You guys are lovely.
He annoys me anyway. The other guy looks over and goes, "Hey."
All right.
He chews with
Stick
his
around.
mouth
I
open.
might have a deal for both of you guys eventually here. Meanwhile, enjoy the cuisine.
Mind wipe guy's just like,
And I'm going to turn and walk out of the room. I'll leave Lashara there by herself if she wants to be.
Lashara is gonna like start to follow him and kind of wave her hand a little bit again and say, neither one of you guys remember any of this.
okay. So roll for number 1 and then roll for number 2.
For number 1,
Can you really do this? Do I notice you doing this?
You started walking out.
I'll say that's up to your dice.
Haro, on the other hand, is watching this intently, like why is this guy all of a sudden becoming very talkative when I've had him for 2 days and he hasn't said anything? Neither one.
So person 1, I got a 27.
Okay.
Person 2, 18.
Okay. You wave your hand at both of them and say, you don't remember us being here, you don't remember us being here, and they both kind of like nod and both kind of look down, glazed over. And you turn around and Haro is locked eyes on you, and he like watching everything you're doing. Because that's very useful. You think you could teach me how to do that?
She gives him a wink and a little bow and says, maybe sometime, and walks by him.
You can make a lot of money with that. He follows you guys out, closes the door.
Man, that was the most awkward interview or like interrogation ever.
Was Lashara being flirty?
No, she was using mind trick.
Yeah.
No. I mean flirty with Haro.
No, not really.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, yeah, I'll
You
leave
sure?
that to Kirk to try to interpret, but
So he goes back out and takes you back to the hangar bay, and about that time, the other 3 come back with, well, some of them come back with stuff, and Jed comes back with a scowl on his face. Dead eyes, but his mouth is all like, "Wah."
I cannot find clothes anywhere on this
Okay.
wiki.
It's
It's
hang
under,
on, 'cause
like,
I found it,
general-
but it's in a weird spot.
We're probably pretty close to wrapping up for the night, so we could probably do this after
Sure.
the clothing search thing.
Yeah. Also, my wife came home with some guests, so the sooner we wrap up, the better.
Yeah, it's under like general equipment, maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly where it is. It's under general. equipment.
Okay.
At the-
Okay.
No. Bottom. Oh, wait, it's still loading.
Yeah, it's literally
Yes.
in the comments of wherever it is.
Yes. Mundane clothing is never given a price. We gave it the following: casual clothes are 75, business clothes are 75, formal clothes 100, local uniforms 150. Flame-proof suit is 200, Sub-Zero parka is 250, a wetsuit's 400, and a chronometer watch is 25. So we're talking like 75 credits.
Okay.
Buy-
And you said it was
Buy 3 get 1 free sort of thing. So
okay. So I'll run numbers on that, and then I'll give you.
okay. All right, so you guys make it back to the hangar, and he puts you in his enclosed speeder and goes out the back way and takes you sort of a loop through the city, and then eventually get back to his estate. And he pulls into a garage, and the door closes behind him, and he gets out. He says, "We can go inside, and if you guys want to clean up, we'll have dinner ready in about an hour."
Sounds fantastic.
Indeed.
Your generosity is always appreciated.
It's no problem. And he heads on upstairs. You guys get to go to your own rooms. Pristine again. You're in this. They put you back in the same rooms you were in before. So
I'm gonna call room service if possible.
okay.
I'm
Even though we're
ask
gonna eat
for-
in like an hour.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's a rhodium
'Cause
thing.
I'm pretty sure I don't want to eat the food that's going to be provided because I want Rhodey and Hunter's pie, and that's just what I want.
Okay. All right. The lady asks, you say Rhodian Hunter's Pie, and you get kind of like, I've never heard that, but I can look it up.
You never. It's only the best thing in the galaxy. Please look it up. I'm really hungry. Thank you.
Okay. Do you want it served at dinner, or do you want it brought up to your room?
At dinner.
All right. Sounds good. Anything
Thanks.
else anybody else wants to do?
No, I'm pretty much going to get cleaned up.
I'm
and-
going to, if I've got an hour,
Yep.
I am going to set up an untraceable situation with my computer
Okay.
and start looking into whoever this person is, the
Scoria.
Mon Calamari. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit down with Dodd, and I want to have a discussion with them about, one more, or maybe a series of interrogations towards these prisoners over the next day or two while we're here.
Yeah.
We
We
need
didn't
to
have a plan.
No, we
going
didn't.
in.
No, we didn't talk about that because we need to know more about the hut. We really, while we're looking for information, we might want to find out where this is Scoria,
Scoria.
where Scoria hangs out.
Is this by chance one of the huts that I've? Oh no, sorry, he's not a hut. He's a Mon Calamari.
Mhm.
Yeah.
who's working for the hut? I
Right.
think we've heard the hut's name before.
Have we?
I've heard several different names.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we could probably pry some more information. It seems my mind trick works, relatively well on at least one of them. We could probably pry some more information if we have a plan.
I do feel like these guys are pretty low on the totem pole. If all they're answering is, well, there was a bounty on the ship and didn't know who the hell I was. Like, I didn't notice any recognition.
Well, they probably at least know where people are stationed. Like they probably might. They may know where the hut generally stays, where Scoria stays. So if we were to launch an offensive or some hit and runs or something, they will probably be able to tell us where.
Okay.
That's the main thing I was thinking is locations for some of these individuals. And I was also thinking about sneaking in something somebody mentioned earlier about letting them inform their people that maybe something like we were hired by this Night Sister chick to steal the hut's money.
That was a pretty good plan. I kind of like it.
We'll
Kinda
have
like it.
instead of a love triangle, we're gonna have a pure hate vindictive triangle, and it's gonna be great.
I mean, both of these guys are pieces of work. One guy said he'd kill somebody for me to get out of there. The other guy said he'd kill his friend to get out of there. I'm really not happy with either one of these cats.
Right
I don't
now,
think our
it's
kind of
very
people.
much reminding me of
We
this.
can only have one Jane on our ship, Chad.
So right now, it's very much reminding me of this piece of Norse mythology that I heard about, where it's like at the top of Idrisil, there's a great giant eagle, and then down in the roots, there's a dragon, and the two absolutely hate each other. And the only reason they know is because a squirrel runs up and down the tree, just talking shit to both of them about the other.
Yep.
That's awesome.
We're the squirrel.
I do like the idea, though. Let's plan on planting that in their heads. I don't know. Do you think maybe we could downtime some ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. You and I can text back and forth or whatever, and make
Yeah.
sure that we give. Once we make a plan, we'll let Kirk know, and he can come up with his.
That
own
way,
stuff.
he doesn't have to come up with something off the cuff.
Yeah.
And we can have something kind of
Yep.
cool planned out.
Yep.
Also, if anybody else has any ideas, feel free to get in on it too.
Yeah, we'll just throw it up on the chat. I don't know. It doesn't have to be secret. I mean, we're all on the same side.
Okay.
At the moment. I was
Qualifications.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, you guys are going to need details about the Night Sister, which means you're going to ask a crew details about the Night Sister.
Yep, that's true. That is true.
So from a purely non-meta standpoint, Haku's kind of involved.
All right. So are we just enjoying our downtime while the ship gets fixed up?
It's
Well,
up
I
to
think
you guys.
dinner's going to be cool.
Dinner's
So,
next, and we're right about 10 o'clock, so it's a good stopping point.
Dinner's
All right.
gonna be good. I still can't believe this place doesn't have
Rhodian
Mandalorian
pie.
armor.
But it does have Rhodian pie.
Maybe.
We'll
figure that out
we'll
yet.
see. We'll see. They
Is-
said they had to look it up.
Is Rhodian pie like? Are you eating other
Is
Rhodians?
it made of Rhodian?
No, no,
Made with real
no.
Rhodians.
Rhodian
Well,
hunter's
Rhodian
pie.
hunter's pie.
Oh,
So it's
hunter's
people who
pie.
hunt Rhodians in a pie.
No, wait. I'm getting a different ship.
Is this a euphemism for something?
Are we saying farewell to the viewers and talking now?
Yep. So we're going to wrap it up for the night. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in, and may the Force be with you.
Bye.
Cheers.
This has been a production of Gaming Without Gaming, all rights reserved. Visit us at gamingwithoutgaming.com. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/gamingwithoutgaming. Title music is by Greg Braun. Find him on soundcloud.com/Clara7. That's KLARA-7. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Gaming Without Gaming logo music is by Kevin MacLeod.